Okay, the first thing we do before we put a tailgate on is we got to make sure that the truck won't be illegal once we put it on. And the way to do that, you have to measure for the 60% for the overhang. And it's a very simple method. You put the tape measure in the middle of the front tyre, make sure the front tyre is straight. The same as what Joe and I are doing here. And then we measure to the centre of the rear tyre. Which is 3,400. You then times 3,400 by 0.06 or 0.6. And it gives you 2040. We had 1,300, or just under 1,300. We had 1,290.
That gives us plenty of room.
Yep. Okay. Right, today we're going to show you how to measure a truck for a tailgate. It's quite simple. The first thing you need to do is measure the height of the ground. From the ground to the top of the tray, to here. And then, from the rear of the tray, from here, to where the airbag or spring starts, to get your measurements. The measurements, depending on what sort of tailgate, will vary. But the minimum height you need is 800 off the ground, and the minimum underneath you need is 800 to your springs or your airbag. We just measured the truck outside. That's having a 600 cantilever to put on it. To get the measurements, once you've done the measurements, you come in and get your brochure, turn it around, and on the back here are all the measurements. So the truck floor height is 1,300, it says on here, and the clear overhang is 800. The 1,300 is actually for a 12 tonner. So if we go up here to the 600, which that's having on it, you got 700 and 1,050. We had 800 out there, and from the ground to the top of the tray we had 900. So this tailgate will fit on that truck. So we measured the truck outside. We determined it was okay to put a cantilever on. It's come in, and now it's finished. Fits perfect. Now the next one is a tuckaway. It's a little bit different. We're now going to show you how a tuckaway goes on. More different to the cantilever. You need a little bit more height from the ground to the top of the tray. You need a metre at least, a minimum metre, so it can fold in and fold out. The other thing is, if you're a bit short between the measuring underneath, you can extend the back of the truck with an extension plate. You can put a 200mm extension plate on the back, weld it to the back of the tray, and that will give you enough room to put your tuckaway on. Okay, we've shown you how to measure for a cantilever and how to measure for a tuckaway. Now we're going to show you how to measure for a tilt and as a rear door. Once again, we check our 60% first before we do this, which we've already done on this truck, and we've shown you that when we did the cantilever. So now, to measure, once again, it's from the ground to the top of the tray or the floor. Right, in this case, we have 950. And then it's from the rear to where the spring hanger is, starts. And once again we got 940 in this case. On this truck we're putting a 1.2 tonne tilt, which will fit with a short arm. So we have long arms for the tall trucks. So the trucks over 1100 we put a long arm on. On the trucks below 1100 we put a short arm on. This will fit. So he wants it to be a rear door. So to measure and get the right size platform for your rear door, you have to measure what we call the daylight opening, which is the internal part of the truck. It's a simple method. Take the tape measure on the internal side. So it's 2200. The height is 2200 and the width is 2380. So to get the right size platform is we add 100 to the width, which gives us 2480, and we add 140 to the length, which if we add it to 2200 long is 2340 long platform, or 20, what we call a 23 long platform. In this case, so on a 1.2 ton, the longest platform we have is a 2200 long platform. So what we need to do is fill in the top. We can either do that by talking to the customer and asking him if we can just fill it in with a bit of RHS and that, or whether he wants us to make a proper flip door, which you go back to a bodybuilder then and he'll make the flip door for you. Okay, so now we've been through all the measurements. If you have any questions, anything at all, just give me a call. My number is 0401 599 909. Don't forget, make sure you measure for the 60% before you do anything. Thank you.